So Yvonne, Linda with EUR Web, thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
So I just want to get to know you because you have been busy this past year. So I want to first start out that I was researching you for this interview. So you're a Dallas native.
Yes, I am actually. Yeah, I was born there.
Everything
But
is
I
big.
didn't stay there too long. I didn't stay there too long. My mom and I moved out here when I was a year old.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say everything is bigger in Texas.
It is.
I've learned that for sure. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about how you got started acting and your involvement with City Hearts LA.
Oh, wonderful. I love talking about my students. So yeah, actually I started out a little bit late. I went to undergrad and I took a class in everything that I kind of liked. And then one of them was acting. I fell in love with it. I declared it my major. I was like, I'm going to spend money either on getting a degree or on acting classes anyway. So might as well get a degree when I'm done. Got a full scholarship to get my master's in acting. And that's actually how I started with teaching, because my agent referred me to somebody who was looking for someone. And the nice thing is when you have a master's in an art like that, then you can actually teach it without having to get credentialed, because it was more of an after school program. Mm-hmm. So I was with them, City Hearts LA, for about 6 years. Actually, I think about 7 years. I just had my Facebook just posted a photo of my first dance students from like 6 years ago.
Oh, nice.
So it was wonderful because it's a program that goes into inner cities that can't afford the arts programs and offers it to them. And so I was able to do that. It was super satisfying when you're out here auditioning to find joy in something else outside of yourself.
Yeah.
So I loved it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, let's talk about Tally.
Let's talk about Tally.
So I met your character Tally first on the Oval, and shocking that she was getting involved in all of this stuff. And then I thought you were dead and you were not dead. And I was all confused. So then you end up on Ruthless with your daughter. Let's talk about how that was a transition for you and if you knew that was going to happen.
Had no clue. The only potential indication was I like to give thank you cards, and it was my last day on Oval after doing a couple of episodes. And I gave Mr. Perry a thank you card and said, "Today's my last day." And he said, "Well, today's your last day, but it won't be your last time on set. We're going to bring you back." And that in itself was already a win. I know, hey, that was already a win. But he was real true to his word. And then in a few months, I had a script with me and Melissa in it. And it was Ruthless, all about these two best friends in a cult trying to get out.
Now, how do you prepare for that? Because, the whole cult, illicit activity, all of that, is quite dark. So how do you prepare as an actor for that?
We did, Melissa and I actually, for the Oval, because we were those characters in the Oval, we watched, it's something country. It's a documentary about cults, and some YouTubes with interviews. I believe there's some ex-cult people on Oprah back in the day. And yeah, it's definitely very dark. But what I realized was it gets a little stigmatized, where people think, oh, only a certain kind of person would get wrapped up into that. But you see people that look like me, like you, like our mom, it was really scary, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to belong. They just wanted to belong to a group that had a very bad system or very bad leaders. And it went really bad, really wrong.
Yeah.
So just, I liked that, because then I was able to humanize Tally. She was someone who was on the streets, had a daughter, wanted a better life. And I mean, that's a story that a lot of people could actually relate to. So it's a good cautionary tale, I think.
Big cautionary tale. Huge cautionary tale.
Run if you hear the highest. If they're calling him the highest, run.
Run fast. Now, for our viewers that have not seen Ruthless, can we do a little synopsis of what Ruthless is about?
Absolutely. So I'm Tally. My best friend is Ruth of Ruthless. We have a daughter. We each have a daughter. And we were looking for a better life. I invited her to this place, a community was what I expected. And it's starting to turn very dark very quickly. There's a lot of corruption. There is sex trafficking. There's drug trafficking. And there's just a very hostile environment, but it's under wraps. And so I figure it out first. And now my goal is to get Ruth and myself and our kids out of here as quickly as possible. But we're definitely running into some fiends like Daikon.
Yes.
Who's at every turn. Someone said in a Facebook post, they were like, they're always looking around, but they never see Daikon pop up. It's true. He's just like pops up.
He's
in the
there.
last second.
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
So we do have some trouble getting out, and that's where we're going right now. We're trying to get out, and thankfully it was nice this season. We had a lot of new characters, so we have a lot of other storylines happening within ourselves at the same time. So it's really exciting. It's really exciting.
Yvonne, what have you found that's been different from season 1 into season 2?
I would say the characters. So there have Mr. Perry heard the fans when they said, we want to know more about what's going on in this cult. So he added in different people who are now interacting with each other. So before it was our group and then the outside group. Now it's still our group, but with several more people added into the mix. So it's wonderful how everything is just seeping into each other, inside, outside, always. You don't know who's on whose team. Everybody still is not sure about Andrew, who is the father of my child.
Yes.
Is he with the CIA? Is he really a Rakadushi? We just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
So how has it been different filming amidst COVID versus season 1 versus season 2?
Well, we like to call it Camp Q. We went to Camp Quarantine this season. Mr. Perry did basically an NBA kind of bubble where you tested in and then had to stay there. Even the caterers were staying there. Everybody stayed there the entire 2 weeks that you were there. It was very safe. You were getting tested all the time. You're getting your temperature taken. You had to keep your mask and your screen guard on until you actually were doing your scene, and then you put it back on. It was a lot different in that way. But I actually liked it because it was kind of like a camp. Like Lenny, for example, Daikon was like next door in the house next door, and you guys met at the food trucks, and it just, within social distance, we always had somebody who's yelling at us, social distance.
Yeah.
But it felt very much like a family, very much like summer camp with your friends, hanging out after you're done working. So I really enjoyed it.
And so what's the process? Because I'm sure that like studying lines and learning your lines is a little bit different when you're in quarantine at a set amount of time. And I understand that, Mr. Perry likes the one take, so you better come correct. So has that upped your acting preparation, how you do things, how you prepare?
Absolutely. We call it boot camp. When you go to Tyler Perry's boot camp, you come out a different, stronger actor, honestly. Thankfully, I knew from last season what to expect this season, and he was true to his word. He told us he would get the scripts out to us earlier, and he did. He got them out to us about a month and a half, 6 weeks ahead of time. So I was just here at the house saying my lines constantly, every day. My husband got very used to me saying crazy things.
What did you say, Yvonne? What was that? Oh, you're rehearsing. Got it.
Punishment trailer, what?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I definitely upped my memorization game. And same as what you said, he only gives you one take. It's not even possibly, you get one. So
is there added pressure to that? Because even when I do interviews live, you know, you can edit on the back end, but live ones, you got to come correct. So it feels like a little bit of extra pressure.
It is. I'm not gonna lie and say it's not. In fact, I believe the first season I went in to see Mr. Swinton, who's the executive producer of this and everything, and he said that he has had some actors kind of have a little breakdown when they
Yeah.
realize what's been expected of them because it's not the norm.
Yeah.
But honestly, what a lot of people will say, and what I've heard too, and what my experience has been, is you that first take is going to have a lot in it. So capturing it on the first go is kind of like live. It's very much like live theater. So as long as you have that inner life already going before you enter the scene, then it's actually a little bit of a relief, to be honest, that it's done. You don't have to keep doing it all day,
Yeah.
and you can move on to hopefully. If you're in the punishment trailer like Tally, then you can move on to a nicer scene. Get yourself out of there. So I didn't mind it once I realized, like, look, this is how the paycheck comes. So
Yeah.
get on board.
Yeah. Now, this is not like characters you've played in the past. I do want to talk about the Bobby Brown story, because do you feel like that was your breakout role? Would you consider that your breakout role?
Yes, I definitely do, because we got the NAACP Image Award for that.
Yes, you did.
And it was just right. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Right? Hey. Yeah, and it's a Jesse Collins production. I mean, he is producing, I believe, the Oscars and the Super Bowl this year. Hello. So to be a part of something that huge, that well known of a story that we all want to get another perspective on, and to be Robin. It's funny though, because although I felt like it was my breakout role because it was on my resume, it was, a lot of people still will say, oh my gosh, that was you? It's like 3 years ago, because I just didn't look like myself. So yeah. It was a breakout, but it wasn't like, oh, now we will remember this face for all time.
Right. But that means so, obviously everyone did an amazing job. You did an amazing job acting, obviously hair, makeup, costume, all of that. So if they don't recognize you, you are that character. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
It was I love hearing that when people are surprised that it was me, because that was the goal. I mean, Robin is, as you see, I'm very girly and frilly, and obviously that's not Robin. Yeah. And I wanted to do her justice. And yes, you were dead right with the costume and the makeup and the hair, for sure, with that little cropped wig that they gave me. They just transformed me 100%.
That's fantastic. Now, how have you been keeping busy during this pandemic? Because for me personally, I've struggled with the quarantine 15 and not being able to go out. So I want to know what your secret is, because you're glowing. You don't look like nothing has affected you. So what are the tips?
I think it's called YouTube makeup tutorials. got the bronzer. That's what it's called. And it's funny because I don't look like this at home. Like at home is, girl, it's a rough life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's quarantine. But I would say, honestly, my husband and I work a lot from home. We have a production company, and so we are editing when, we stopped pretty much shooting once COVID hit. So it was just leftover editing jobs. Thankfully, we were already used to spending a lot of time together, so it wasn't like a hostile environment. We're in my space situation. And so honestly, we just binged on a lot of shows. I know the ending of Lost now. We're in the middle of How to Get Away with Murder. Like a lot of TV watching.
Yeah.
Happening over
here. Same here.
I like to call it research. We'll just call it research.
That's exactly. We're in entertainment, so we have to do that. It's very important.
Yeah. It's so important.
I love it. Now, I've also heard, congratulations are in order. You are going to be starring in Sneakerella. Am I saying that right? Sneakerella?
You are. Yeah, Cinderella, but It's revolving around sneaker culture, so Sneakerella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, that was actually a complete dream come true, Linda, to be honest with you, because they specifically wanted an all black family or all black royal family, which was so once in a lifetime so far, right? Hopefully we're going to see more of that, and this
Yeah.
is setting a standard.
Yeah.
Right? Because that is the case in the real world, right?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of beautiful black families in the real world.
Yes.
And so that was, first of all, a complete gift. And then the cast was incredible. Lexi Underwood plays my daughter, and so does Robin Alomar. And so these two women are just so incredible. And then John Sally's my husband, and I'll just let you know, we never stopped laughing when he was around. The man is hilarious.
Yeah.
John Sally is such a character in real, like anything you see on TV, that's him in real life times 10.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I met him one time.
And he's so tall.
I know.
He's so tall because man, I have never I had to like kiss him on the cheek for once, and he had to like do a a bend down. I'm 5'9" and I had heels. Like it's tall,
met him one time.
Tall.
I met him one time.
Did
and
you?
And so basketball was a big deal growing up in my household. So he's an icon. And so I'm like,
okay.
I'm at a studio and I'm looking at him, and I feel like he had a sixth sense. He's like, who's like trying to stalk me over here? And I'm like, can I take a selfie? And so I have Yvonne, I have my phone, and he is so tall. He's like, he takes my phone. He's like, I got this.
He takes the selfies. That is his thing.
Yeah.
He will not let you take the selfie because you're gonna make him look like a giant.
Yeah.
So he's way up here.
Yeah, you're like, hi, I'm down here.
Yeah, you look like this small. You're like,
yeah.
That's his thing. Any selfies you see, it's from his perspective.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So Sneakerella, when have you filmed it already? Are you guys about to film, or are we waiting for COVID to be over?
It's been filmed on my end. They are wrapping up, I believe, this week. They have been there since September. So the kids, because it's a kids show, when I say kids, they're all 17 to 18. But the kids,
yeah,
so they've been there doing rehearsals for singing, dancing, everything since September. So they've been there for a long time. John and I went out there for 7 weeks. And so we filmed the parents' part for that 7 weeks, and then both of us got flown back. So it's all done on our parts. Nice. It was incredible experience, so much fun. We talk about costumes. Oh my gosh, the costumes, the hair, the makeup. I got to play like a queen on Thanksgiving. It was a great, great experience.
Yeah, I bet. Now, Yvonne, is there a role that you haven't played yet that is your dream role?
That's a good question. I grew up watching action movies with my dad, so I love, like, Trinity from The Matrix was hands down one of my favorite characters. So I have yet to play an action heroine, and I am holding out for something Marvel.
Okay.
That's the goal, right? I mean, I know that Storm is like the it girl for our community within Marvel, but there's a lot of other women there too. And so, maybe it'll be Storm, maybe it'll be another queen, which would be wonderful. But we'll see. It would be a Marvel action heroine. That would be it. Yeah.
I love that. Now, you talked a little bit about having a production company. What on your end do you want to produce? Like, what are the type of things that you're interested in seeing being made?
My husband and I are very big on inclusivity. We want to show our people. We want to show people in our community. My mom is from South America, Bolivia. So I have a big Latin family that I'm very close to. And so I just want diversity within whatever projects we're doing. And so we're across the spectrum. We probably wouldn't do like horror and gore because it's just like not either of our things.
Yeah.
But other than that, action, romance, my my husband's gonna be mad I said it. He actually likes rom-coms more than I do. Because he watched movies with his mom. I watch movies with my dad.
Yeah.
So he'll sit down sometimes and watch himself a little Hallmark. I come home like, but you know, they always get me too. I'll be honest. Like I'm always like dissing it, but then it's on and I watch the whole thing.
Of course, especially during this time of season where it's like all the holiday movies.
Yes.
You're like family and love. You're like, oh.
I know. So I am a little bit of a sucker for them when they're on. So it would be great to have just things across the spectrum we want to bring in. We also not just want to put people in front of the camera who are, you know, people of color. We want them behind the camera. We want them writing. We want them telling their stories. We just want to be a platform for our voices. And so that's the goal. That's the end goal for our company. And it's MFB Entertainment. So my father's business, entertainment.
I love that. I love that. I wanted to ask you what challenges versus opportunities, because we've all talked about how this pandemic has affected us adversely, but what opportunities have come to you during this pandemic that perhaps you hadn't sat still for?
Yeah. What I will say is that I've talked to other actors and we don't mind the new self-tape life. This is maybe an answer for other actors. Did you say you do acting as well?
I do a little bit of acting. Just a little bit.
Just a wee bit, okay. just a little bit. So you know, self-tape was something that was kind of catching on, but you still had to go into offices and audition. To be honest with you, when I booked Sneakerella, my husband was sitting on the couch right here because it was Zoom. My husband's on the couch. I put my grandparents' photograph right behind the camera, you know, moral support. So I wouldn't mind us staying in this world of self-tapes.
Yeah.
That's my personal preference. I do feel like it's allowed me to be just more comfortable being myself because I'm already at home.
Yeah.
Literally.
That, and you know what? Even though you're being judged, you're at home, and there's that I don't want to say performance anxiety, but you know that flutter you get every time you walk into a room and all eyes are on you. Now you just get to like focus on what you love to do and the craft itself. So I'm right there with you, sister.
There we go.
Self-tape. No.
I love it. Keep it.
Yeah, right. So we are we're in the midst of season 2 for Ruthless right now.
Yes.
I bet there's going to be a season 3.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. There's too much story now for there not to be. What is it like working with Tyler Perry, the genius that he is?
Yes. So, Mr. Newly Single Tyler Perry. I don't know if you saw his page.
Yes. He went viral. He went viral with that picture.
I know those comments were getting a little turned.
Right. Right. Y'all better stop calling him daddy. He ain't your daddy. Calm down.
Yeah. So, working with our newly single Mr. Perry. Honestly, Mr. Perry is about his business when he's on set because he wears all the hats, right? He wrote it, he's producing it, he is directing it. So he's all business for the most part, especially when the cameras are on. Now, when the camera turns off and maybe we're transitioning to a new location, that's when he's just, I'd say like Tyler, right? Not necessarily Mr. Perry, he's like Tyler. And he's joking with the crew, joking with, you know, the cast and everything. And so I like that you get both sides of him, and he's always humble. At the end of the day, he stays humble. You know, he's on Forbes Billionaire as of this year, and we still have our prayer before every set, you know, every day of shooting. So he is very true to his roots and really is as you know, always trying to represent us. And I love that he leverages his name, not our name, right? So he will hire people who don't have agents. He will hire people, his casting director posts series regular auditions on the free Actors Access, where a lot of them, those series regulars only go to agents normally. He wants opportunities for everybody. And so his casting director posts it there. And so I just respect that so much, because that's what we want to eventually do too, is leverage our business and our production company to allow opportunities for people who don't have the credits yet, you know, but have the skill and the talent and the drive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been a complete gift to work with him. Complete gift.
I love that. You're delightful. You're very delightful. I appreciate it. Yes. And I am wishing you continued success. And I cannot wait to see all the projects that are coming down the pipeline for you.
I appreciate that so much, Linda. I have really enjoyed this time with you.
Me too.
Yes. And I hope we get to do it again soon.
Oh, we will. Hopefully we'll be able to do it in person. We'll be safe.
I know. There's so many great interviewers that I have yet to meet. Like really meet.
Yeah, I'm Zoom friends with everyone now.
Exactly. Everyone knows. Well, normally you would know what my house looks like, but I had a self-tape today, so I had my background up. Yeah. But normally you like know what my bedroom looks like. It's like we're already so close.
Exactly. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much. Everyone, make sure you go watch Ruthless and look out for Sneakerella. And Yvonne, it's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.